Ms. Escobar for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this timely and important conversation. And many thanks to our witnesses for sharing your expertise and your wisdom and your knowledge with us. This is a very timely topic, and I was taken, Dr. Sisson, by something that you mentioned in your testimony when you said that we can encourage the government of Taiwan to adopt a defense concept that forces the PLA into suboptimal strategies and increases the battle damage Beijing would have to anticipate and accept. Can you elaborate a little bit more on this defense concept, please?
Sure. So I think it's really taking advantage of the terrain of Taiwan and the kind of work that the PLA would have to undertake either to do an amphibious kind of invasion or even a blockade. So there's certain kinds of defense equipment that Taiwan can integrate into its defense concept. So you can think about naval mines and other anti-ship defenses, small attack, fast attack missile boats, and those sorts of things that would really make it difficult for the PLA to move. The other thing I think is really fundamental is preparing for a whole of nation defense on the part of the Taiwan people. I was actually in Taiwan the week following then Speaker Pelosi's visit. And, the interesting element at the time in terms of the population wasn't that the PLA's, histrionics around the island were particularly frightening. It's not as though the military activities conveyed to them information they didn't already have, but that it was met with this sort of collective sense of, yeah, we know and we are going to continue to get ready. And more of that sensibility of preparedness and national resilience, along with the material sort of preparations that would require for a blockade, much less any sort of active resistance to an invasion. That's the kind of thing we can continue very much to support the Taiwan people with.
Thank you. And what would you say are the obstacles that Taiwan faces in order to make this defense concept a reality?
That's a really important question and element of it. Some of it is working with the defense forces there to change mindset, frankly, and to be willing to invest in some platforms that might not be their first choice for any number of reasons. I think Congress obviously plays an important role in terms of streamlining the relationship, in terms of the weapons support that we can provide through foreign military sales, which was a very heartening inclusion in the last NDAA, and those sorts of things. I think that the other obstacle is something that Taiwan has to work with in terms of engaging beyond the United States. And if we can facilitate relationships with allies and partners and like-minded nations worldwide, I think that very much helps the Taiwan people's sense of confidence, stability, and is important to deterrence as well.
Great, thank you so much. Admiral Harris, how can we better develop and integrate cyber talent at our colleges and our universities? I mean, I have long pushed that our military better collaborate and use that talent and the brilliance that we have at our institutions of higher learning so that we can help close some of those capability gaps between our government and that of the CCP.
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you for it. I think that we already have taken steps to improve that field of study in the sense that we have now formal relationships between the department and at least 10 or maybe a dozen universities that are teaching now major fields of study in cyber and cyber warfare. So that relationship is important. It can and maybe should be expanded, but the fact that we have it at all, I think, recognizes the talent that is extant in the communities that we're not receiving in the department.
Are we moving quickly enough in that direction?
I don't think you can move quickly enough, but I think we are moving, and that's the important thing at this point.
Thank you both very much. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.